Welcome to newsok.com, and thank you for joining us. I'm Scott Wright, joined by Gina Mizell. Oklahoma State football is the topic, and signing day is here. A big area of need for the Oklahoma State Cowboys was on the defensive line, particularly at defensive end, and this was an area they hit hard. Had to do some work late, but talk about a few of the guys that Oklahoma State will be bringing in on signing day at that defensive end position.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This was a major need for the Cowboys in this recruiting class, with the Cowboys needing to replace both starters at defensive end. Ryan Robinson is gone, Cooper Bassett's gone, Nigel Nicholas, all gone. All were seniors this past season. So let's start with Naeem Mustafa, a guy that they plucked away from Georgia kind of at the last minute, and he enrolled early and is already on campus. So I think that was kind of a surprise in January. But then you look at a guy like Sam Wren, a JC transfer coming in, he's also already enrolled. And I think that's really going to help these guys, going into spring football.
And then the other late steal that they had, a guy that you'll get to see up close and
Yes.
personal, Vili Leveni of Hurst, of LD Bell there in Hurst, Texas. A big guy that, he's not coming in early like the other two guys, but a guy that looks like he probably has the size at least and ability to come in early.
Yeah, I think that was one of the bigger late surprises, I guess, of this signing class. Vili Leveni is a guy that was committed to Utah for a very long time, but especially after Tyus Bowser decided he committed to Oklahoma State, then decommitted a couple of days later, decided to focus on basketball. Mike Gundy and that coaching staff really went in hard on Leveni and were able to switch him on Super Bowl Sunday. So yeah, you're right. I will be at his school tomorrow morning, bright and early, and I think he's going to help this group as well.
Two defensive tackles in this class, Ben Hughes and Vincent Taylor. Talk a little bit about those guys and the need that the Cowboys have in that spot.
Not so much of a need as defensive end, because Calvin Barnett and James Castleman will both return, as well as Anthony Rogers and David L. Collins will both be back for this team in 2013. But still an area you want to continue to shore up and continue to build depth. And I think Vincent Taylor, a guy out of San Antonio specifically, he's kind of an interesting story. He moved from New Orleans to San Antonio after Hurricane Katrina. Obviously, getting in Texas high school football, I think, helps him out a little bit. And he's the son of a former Arena League player. So a guy that grew up watching his dad playing, up and down 50-yard football, that just high-scoring games, now going to be playing in the trenches in a major college football.
One other guy to include here, because you don't really know where to put him at, Tuttle's Dawson Bassett, the only Oklahoma signee, as far as we know at this point, that's going to be signing with the Cowboys on signing day Wednesday. Talk a little bit about Dawson. Obviously, Cooper's younger brother. Talk about maybe where he fits in the future for the Cowboys.
Yeah, keeping the family tradition alive. The Bassett, family line. Obviously, most people who follow Oklahoma State knows how big of an Oklahoma State fan Cooper Bassett was growing up, and his brother Dawson was the same way. And it's funny because once Tyus Bowser decommitted from Oklahoma State, Cooper was tweeting like, hey, maybe this opens up a spot for my brother. And sure enough, last Wednesday he got the offer from Mike Gundy and pretty much committed right away. So yeah, they kind of see him as maybe a linebacker, maybe a tight end, kind of one of those hybrid type guys. And that's a little bit how Cooper started out his career. They played him at tight end, then they moved him to defensive end, then they moved him to defensive tackle, and he played both positions at certain points even this season. So it'll be interesting to see where he winds up. But yeah, as far as we know right now, he's the only in-state commitment for this class.
Dawson, not quite as big as Cooper was coming out of high school, a lot more athletic from all accounts. I got to see this kid in person a couple of times over the last 2 years. A very, very athletic player. Dawson Bassett, very impressive. Wherever they find a spot for him, I think he's going to fit in well. Thank you very much, Gina, and thank you for joining us. Stick with us on Wednesday. We'll have all of your signing day coverage from the defensive line all the way to the kicker. We'll cover it all on newsok.com/sports.